Welcome to this week's Tournament of Doom featured game of the week. I'm Senior Doom, and joining me as always is my wonderful co-commentator, Pokeyemi. Now, Pokeyemi, what do you think of this matchup?
So we are seeing Arceus Duraludon with a little bit of spice go up against Lugia V-Star here. The Lugia list seems to be pretty normal. Is playing one Lost Vacuum, but no Canceling Cologne. So definitely like kind of looking at the different techs here. It is a version with Flying Pikachu, which obviously isn't going to help us in the Duraludon match, I don't think.
And it does look like we prize the spice.
So the spice we're talking about is that Radiant Eternatus, for anyone who is watching for what it was prized. But if we did have it, we would be able to put it down on our bench and go grab 2 VMAXs and put them right onto the bench, not having to evolve from the Vs at all. But we're just going to take it the normal route this time, apparently. We're just going to go ahead and have one Arceus, one Duraludon, and hopefully be able to power up 2 Duraludon VMAXs for this matchup. I don't know. What do you think, Doom?
I'm looking at what they have, and the Lugia's outs for this is Lost Vacuum away any umbrellas, and KO with Yveltal against Duraludon.
Right.
There's no Canceling Clones, no Path of the Peaks. Their outs are that. So having one Duraludon V set up is fine. It's being proactive enough to go after the Archeops. That's usually what you want to do. That is
right.
What a Duraludon wants to do, is go after the Archeops, so it makes it even more difficult for the Yveltal player to set up.
For sure, yeah. Gusting up one of the 2 Archeops that end up there on the bench. That will prevent them from being able to charge up the the Yveltal in one turn. So yeah, no, that's a good gameplay. But instead, interesting that we're gonna go ahead and see our opponent boss up that Duraludon V on the bench. And we are playing the single strike Duraludon V. A lot of players opt to play the metal type one that has that ability to have it take 30 less damage. But that will be rotating here soon. So I don't blame our player here from playing just the regular single strike one.
We do see the Duraludon VMAX come down and play. So now it's just a matter of what's your next play. You can attach energy here, and you're still in a huge threat of being Yveltaled easily.
Yeah, this is tough because interesting. So gonna go ahead and grab another Arceus V. So we could see the grab of maybe a switch and a double turbo energy and be able to fully charge up a Duraludon VMAX. But without that big Parasol, we are wide open to an Yveltal play.
Which is your biggest fear.
For sure.
And as it stands, they have nothing in hand to give them an out to the next turn.
Yeah, this is really tough. See, this is where I was personally having a hard time with testing Arcdura, is situations like this where all we've got in hand is Raihan. We have no basic energy in the discard, so even if our Arceus V goes down, we can't even use Raihan.
I think one of the best things you could do for that is to put a single energy on the Arceus V and put 2 onto the Duraludon.
That's true. We could do that.
Because then at worst, maybe you get stuck with Duraludon up there, but you're kind of almost daring them, and they should know you have the right hand in hand due to your Poke gear.
For sure, and that makes a lot of sense. So that's a very smart play there. Exactly like you said, went ahead and attached 1 metal energy to that active Arceus V.
So one of the things is interesting here, though, is the Lugia player only has one Archeops, or what I like to call Ancient Chicken, in the discard. It's there, and in this matchup, you want 2. You need 2.
Yeah, we do see a quick ball here. We're going to see if that is discarding an Archeops, but it is not. It is discarding an Aurora energy. I wonder if we're going to grab another Luminion. A lot of players play double Luminion. I'm going to check really quick. We do play double Luminion. Just for that extra consistency, that is what we're going to grab. That Luminous Sign ability going to let us go grab a supporter from the deck. Oh, and Professor Burnett. So this is a really interesting card. Lets us go into our deck and choose 2 cards to discard. So we're just gonna get 3 Archeops in the discard pile. We only need 2. But our board state is like so ready for everything to get bossed up.
Actually, that depending on how many cards Jake here takes, the line of play is to not do it or Arceus or Aladon.
That's true. Yeah, then they just cannot Evil Tall.
Right. There's no reason to do anything else than sit here, knowing that knowing with an open deck, knowing with an open deck list, playing as many Arceus or Aladon games I have. You do nothing.
All right, Doom, you're gonna coach me for Knoxville Regionals. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm totally ready.
Sounds good. No, this is perfect. So yeah, we can just sit here and just pass, right?
It fully depends on what they will do. I would still right hand. I would still possibly grab a boss or some other card that you need. Boss doesn't hurt, and you're still gonna want to put damage on this Lugia.
Mm-hmm. I guess what we could possibly see is we could see one of the Luminions going to use that attack for no damage, and shuffle itself back into the deck, leaving an open space for an Evil Tall play. So we could see that. We do have the boss in hand though for next turn to be able to just gust up one of those Archeops and take it out right now.
Correct. So that's why you want to still put damage on this Lugia. You need to rush prizes if you want the boss, but effectively, you're forcing them to find get that Luminion up there. But now you've right hand, you have cards. They do play Marnie, so that's a possibility. You could also see a Serena KO possibly, but I don't think that was.
Yeah, and if we were able to get that big parasol, the angry emote there, and there is the big parasol. I just spoke it into existence. We're just gonna see the pass there.
I would have liked to see the boss Archeops just take the initiative. That's a line of play you should be playing anyways, because he does play a Lost Vacuum. You should assume they play a Lost Vacuum. Even now, you should assume your Lugia opponent plays Canceling Cologne. This one does not. See, here it comes. Here comes what the line you were talking about for the Lugia player.
Exactly. So we will see the Archeops going to go ahead and use Primal Turbo, slap those Aurora energies on there, and Aqua return for no damage because of that Skyscraper ability on the Duraludon VMAX. But now they have an open spot to put that Evil Tall. So for sure needing to boss up an Archeops here and take it out, which is exactly what we're going to see.
Again, I would like to see that turn earlier, but you're semi-safe right now. Safe.
I agree. Also, because we know now, like we didn't know that we were going to grab a Marnie off of the prizes. Some hand disruption too could have been pretty funny. Because then we could have Marnied this turn and possibly gotten another boss's orders to gust up an Evil Tall or whatever else we need to grab.
Now losing the Parasol now means Jamie, Professor Chestnut, Drago DJ, however name you're looking at, just has to find their second one.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lugia player has no way of removing the second one. And so then that will also force a checkmate. So having the Marnie in hand will help with that.
For sure. And we are getting Marnied ourselves, so let's see what we get off here. A lot of Lugia players opting to play a one-off canceling clone or sometimes a two-off canceling clone, but like we were saying earlier, this list is not running those and is not running a way to find it either, because instead they are opting to play this Flying Pikachu VMAX package for the Lost Box matchup. So kind of having a worse Duraludon VMAX matchup in kind of a trade. However, Lost Box is so powerful and so popular, I kind of don't blame that as a trade-off.
The Lugia now gets checkmated. The Temple of Sinnoh has no way of being removed. And Yveltal can't attack with Temple of Sinnoh.
Well, Marnie is a lie.
Marnie is a huge lie. He plays the Temple of Sinnoh. That should be it. You got Marnie himself.
Lugia can discard the stadium.
That is true. That's why you...
With the attack.
So he would have to attack with Lugia. Or just top deck the big parasol.
Top deck the big parasol, speak it into existence. I mean, throw down the temple and just start swinging. Like, I don't know, just for funsies. At this point, we just win, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just start swinging. It doesn't matter. You just win.
Duraludon VMAX coming in with the Nakatomi Tower. John McClane throwing I forgot his name, Alan Rickman's character. What's funny is I watched Die Hard not even a month ago. Off the tower.
Yeah, that is so funny. We have top decked that big parasol twice at the perfect time. Just so good here. And yeah, that is why Arctura players in the current meta have been opting to play at least 2 big parasol most of the time, sometimes even upping that count to 3, because it is so key for the Lugia matchup when they only have the Yveltal as their out.
Chat did remind me it's Hans Gruber. Thank you, chat. I didn't know so well. I'm sick a little bit, okay? YouTube, chat, I get a pass. One pass.
Sounds good.
One pass. That's it. But yeah.
Looks like we're just gonna gust and stall for now. But yeah, I mean, I think it's just that's kind of all she wrote.
Just take the boss's orders. Hard retreat here and
swingy swing. Gmax pulverization, such a powerful attack as well. Only doing 220 damage, which by current standards doesn't seem too powerful in the current meta, but it is that shred. It goes all through any abilities or any effects on that active Pokemon. So things like Miltank, things like the Gudra that takes less damage, it's not going to be affected.
Which kind of still hurts Arceus around on the Gudra matchup, because Gudra still takes 2 shots to KO and it hits hard.
For sure. It does. It does hit very hard and oftentimes does not play special energy, so you aren't getting that extra protection. We have so many answers here. We have the boss and the double turbo energy, so we're just going to see the concession there.
So with that, Professor Chestnut, Jamie Chestnut takes the game. This is their list. We talked about the spice, right? We were hoping to see the spice.
Mm-hmm.
This was the spice. We were hoping to see this come in play. They had the opportunity, but we prized it off the beginning. So we didn't get to see Radiant Eternatus. And seeing it in Arceus Duraludon, this is a real spice that you would hope would work. And that's what we were hoping to see. But prizing happens. It's what it is.
And that is a-okay. I think that this list is definitely something I want to take a better look at and kind of test. I know a lot of players trying not to fit anything else except for Arceus and Duraludon specifically in the deck. But maybe that Radiant Eternatus, which is new from our last set, Crown Zenith, maybe that's just what kind of puts it over the edge as a really, really good deck.
That's a possibility. And what I do like is always the heavy boss count. Going in with 3. Heavy Pokegear. I feel like Pokegear is something that's needed in everyone. It's just too good of a card.
It's so good, and I am so sad. Doesn't it rotate? It is deregulation mark.
Yes, it does rotate, but given how long it's been reprinted, and I don't think it's a broken card, we will see it again.
Okay.
Just like we saw.
That makes me feel a little better.
Just like we saw Ultra Ball come back. It took a while for Ultra Ball to come back. But it's there. Chat is actually saying they got a reprint, so YouTube, if we are wrong, you can also hit us up in chat. This one says it has a deregulation mark.
Yeah, no, that they would make sense if it's always printed in the base set, like how Switch often is, or these cards that never rotate, but they still have to be assigned a regulation mark, right? So that would make sense. So apologies for the misinformation there. So
we try our best, but sometimes things slip through. That's why we have things like Limitless here, where we can go ahead and check cards, see where they're at. Like, Limitless is not going to tell us that Pokegear right now it has another print, because Scarlet and Violet isn't legal in English yet.
Right.
But as soon as we see it, we should be able to see it again. It does say Japanese prints, and it isn't a lot of card decks. A lot of prints over there.
Makes sense.
So, matter of time. So with that was this week's featured game of the Tournament of Doom. Hit that like, subscribe button, all that good YouTube stuff. I'm Senior Doom, and joining me as always, the ever amazing Pokeyemi, and hopefully we'll see you next week.